We're just going to start. Let's just start.
Yeah, let's
okay,
do it.
let's
just roll into it.
We're at the Rose Music Hall. Is it an outdoor show?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
Yep.
Free show.
Yep, it's free.
Unfortunately, we can't advertise that right now because it's coming out after the show.
Yeah, that's true.
So you missed out.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Do you guys have a Facebook group page?
Yes, we have our Facebook page, which is at Comancheros Band, which is also our Instagram and Twitter. And then we have a Comancheros group, which is called the Comancheros Outpost on Facebook, if you'd like to search that. Typically, we share more like pictures that wouldn't be share-worthy on the page, or just like stuff. It's like, oh, Michael with his pants down, So.
Yeah. Oh wait, what? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's our porno group. Just kidding.
So you guys obviously have a lot of fun. By the way, I'm with the Comancheros. If you didn't already know that, by the title, interview with the Comancheros. Really quick names. Who we got here?
Tanner Jones.
I'm Michael Cook.
Michael Cook. And what do you guys do in the band?
Tanner, guitar player, singer.
I play drums.
Okay. Oh, awesome.
And writes all the songs. Michael writes all the songs.
Oh, yeah.
Does he really write all the songs?
Really does, yeah.
So you're the songwriter.
Yeah.
And what do you do then? What does Tanner do
just,
then?
Like, jump around.
Well, it actually works out really well because I'm basically tone deaf. So I write lyrics, and then I'm like, Tanner, help. And he writes all the melody for
Yeah, so
us.
melody, chord, all the vocal parts and guitar parts stuff for me. But
It is a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Are you the only singer, or are there like background singers, or are there different singers?
Brad and Kyle both sing background, but I'm the only one who sings lead right now.
Okay. So, I don't know how to describe what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at Tanner, who's dressed like a cowboy, and I'm looking at, I forgot your name, Kyle?
Michael.
Michael. You're
Kyle's
Michael.
You can call me whatever you
Kyle.
want, though.
Oh, really?
Just get in that group, dude.
We got I'm part of that group, and some of the things I see on that group, I'm like, just keep scrolling.
Just keep on.
Just keep
So we got Michael here with the most gorgeous mutton chops I've ever seen, and the shortest shorts I have ever seen too.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot of fun, don't you?
We have a lot of fun. Yeah, that's the goal.
Man, so you guys just got done with I don't know if I would call it a tour. You guys just got done playing a lot of shows.
Yeah,
kind of like in the Midwest region.
Yeah.
Anything about those shows?
Yeah, we did several probably 3-4 weekend type stuff. We did the Tumbleweed Festival, which was Alabama, and so Alabama was there. Marshall Tucker Band, Blackberry Smoke, Steelwoods, Whiskey Myers. That was a really big one for us. And then we played with Nitty Gritty Dirt Band at the Ozark Amphitheater and Ozark Mountain Daredevils. We went to Kansas to play with Ward Davis and Steelwoods again for a different show. We're doing a lot of cool stuff here.
Yeah. Weren't you guys just in Nebraska too, or was that next?
Yes.
Yeah, you were.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we played at a really awesome bar called Bucks, which is kind of a really famous little country dive. It's really rad. Like they'll have huge bands there but it's like, just the coolest dive bar ever.
Yeah.
So
and it's pretty small, so you'll see pictures of dudes, just back up in the corner.
Really?
Just stuffed into the corner, but
and the tour bus outside is 3 times the size of the bar.
Oh my
gosh. They'll bring really huge acts into this little tiny bar.
That's
charge
hilarious.
$25 cover, and it just totally full.
Yeah, and there's no facade. Keep going on that
you're
place.
Fine.
But that place is so genuinely just exactly what it is. It's not like a new bar that they've made look, like when you go to Cracker Barrel and everything's stapled to the wall.
Yeah,
it's not like that.
yeah.
It's just years of dust and soot and autographed shot glasses and Polaroids, and it's so cool.
That's flipping awesome. So you guys got a lot of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Were you guys able to fit in there comfortably, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah. No, I mean we can get pretty close. So it wasn't too bad. No,
you guys are pretty close right now.
We are pretty close.
I mean, if you follow the group, you know.
You follow the group. If anyone needs to take anything away from this, it's follow the group.
That's true.
That's it.
Follow the group.
And if you want to get really into it, we actually have a private site on our webpage. So if you go to thecomancheros.com and you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a little word that says hideout.
Really?
If you click on that, it'll be like, whoa, what's the password? If you're on our email list, you can get the password every month, and we'll post random, real weird stuff there.
That's
stuff that Facebook,
awesome.
stuff that Mark Zuckerberg doesn't want on Facebook at all. So
the internet allows everything. So
It's a place to post like pre-demos, live stuff that nobody else would see, things like
That's
that.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Stuff about the music video.
How do you get on the email list? Just go to the website?
If you just email info@thecomancheros.com, you we'll get you signed up.
We probably should have a button on the website that just says join email mailer.
I'll say, do you guys have a button? Or
yeah, you can email that. It's our email that's posted on everything. So usually right underneath our thing, it's the email address.
Yeah, and there's a contact form on the webpage too. So if you email us and go, hey, email group, we'll get you in.
That's cool. You got anything? You got?
Not at the moment.
You don't have a question at the moment? Really? After everything, you don't have a... Okay. They're all being answered, so... do you guys have a new album coming out or anything?
Yeah.
You do? I thought I heard a rumor you did.
Yeah, we recorded... We set up a studio at a cabin out by this lake, which I can't even remember the name of, but we recorded 11 tunes, I think, for it.
Okay.
Over the course of a week, and we... So really we're just going through, like... mixing it, mastering it, have it done different places, seeing which one we like best. And we've got the music video is pretty well done for the first single, so all that'll be coming out in the next couple of months here. It's as per usual, it's been stretched out longer than we told everybody out the get-go. Right. but you want to make sure that it's exactly what you want before you put it out and everything. And guitars aren't too loud or guitars aren't loud enough and stuff like that.
Make sure the bass is nice and quiet.
Yeah, just mix them out. No.
All good stuff. Is he the bass player?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? I like your hat.
Kyle's also our pedal steel player on when we do that too.
Oh, really?
So, and when we do longer sets, we'll switch Bradley to bass and Kyle to pedal steel for more like a. It's still pretty rocking, but a little more classic country feeling type thing. So
the biggest argument I have with people when I show them you guys is that I say you guys aren't country, and they say they are country. In fact, my wife is actually one of those people.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm like no. And I talked to Brad the other day, and he was like, "Well, whoever says that, bring them to our live shows. We'll show them how rocking we are."
Yeah.
Can we just settle this nice and clear?
Yeah.
Are you guys country?
We are heavy and western.
We are heavy western. You are not we. You are heavy western.
We are heavy and western. Yep, that's the music we play.
I like that. Now, when people ask, "What is heavy and western?"
We tell them to come to the show. So it's like this redirecting circle. We just keep when we started it, we wanted to be able to combine our influences of Waylon and Johnny Cash with Judas Priest and Motorhead. So it's like
makes sense.
So how do we do it? And it's like, as you're saying too, it can get pretty confusing pretty fast on what we are or what we do. So we figured, actually, Mikey came up with the heavy and western thing. It's like we needed something quick and concise and interesting, but also informative that just said, this is what we do. And it's like, what? And then as soon as you hear it, it's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Sounds great.
So, it's kind of, we've been rolling with it, and I think it's going pretty good. It's been good for our clothing line and everything, too.
So you came up with heavy and western.
Yeah.
He thought it sucked, though. I was like, no, dude,
did you really?
The best thing we ever did.
I had, a list of, 10 things of, I was just brainstorming, what could we do, all these different taglines of what we could say it is, and it was just one of 10, and I sent it to Tanner, and he was like, heavy and western, and I was just like, okay, I don't know, sure, but it seems to have taken off, and I like it.
Did everyone else agree with it right away, or did anyone else?
I feel like it was kind of a, and if I think it was in the trial and just using it, and people like, oh, that's awesome, and it's like it's nice too, because I feel like it does, people identify with it who don't even necessarily care to hear what we sound like, which is totally cool. It's like if you just like a hat that says heavy and western because you like metal and you like country, you wear it and it's awesome.
It's like you guys just created your own genre of music.
Sure. Yeah, hopefully,
really
ideally
cool.
That'll be the deal.
Well, you always hear metal country or of course Southern rock and stuff like that.
Sure. And I feel like Southern rock, it's like you just don't really, you don't hear that as much anymore, so it's kind of like, I feel like if we were to have attached to that, it'd almost be like attaching to something that isn't necessarily going on at the moment, and country metal, I feel like sort of that turns off country dudes and it turns off metal dudes. Just you're country metal, they're like, oh,
the 10 people.
Yeah, maybe not, or it sounds really spiky, but also straw at the same time, whereas heavy western flows a little more smooth.
And it's obviously a play off of country and western, so it's
of course.
I think the flow of it is something people are already used to. Or if you say country metal, which I saw a band using that the other day, and it's like, I mean, I'm not knocking them, but
yeah.
it's like it's just a collection of like syllables and sounds we're not used to saying. So I think that helps if you're just like already used to saying it.
And you can do we play both kinds of music, heavy and western.
Exactly.
Like Blues Brothers, yeah.
Do you guys play any covers during your set, or do you just stick with your music?
So like today, for instance, this is mainly going to be ours. We'll still have a couple covers in there, but we play 4-hour sets all the time and 5.
Really?
Sometimes, yeah.
Jeez.
So it's so in that we probably have like an hour's worth of original music that we think people are into, and then there's some others that was like, well, that was kind of a dud, but that was a big way that we, how do we fund buying a van and making records and doing music videos and stuff? Is like, well, we need to figure out how we can go be us, play our music, do what we want to do, but do it in these scenarios where you might have like a classic rock cover band come in and play.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we get that money into our pocket? So, doing what we want to do. So it's kind of, one of the things I always read is that Queen, it's like, Queen would go do cover sets and stuff like that, but they were still Queen. They still did Queen. They still played all their Queen songs, and it's like they made money and did what they wanted. So and we still play all the tunes we like. It's not like we're playing a bunch of stuff we hate.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many just classic rock and country songs out there that it's like we can play a solid 4 hours because we don't usually take breaks. We just play.
I got you.
And we can fill that time with songs that we like and other people like. There's a lot of good tunes out there, and and there's some that like Tanner would say, oh, we got to do this song, and I'd be a little like, oh man, I don't know. But as soon as we start playing it, it's fun, and you see the way people react to it. It's always fun.
Or we pick one we think everybody's gonna love, and then they turn out they don't. So even though we like it, we're like, well, we don't want to like empty the bar, and
right. So what are your guys' rehearsal sessions like then? If you could fill up 4 hours of literally anything,
they change a lot. I think typically we focus more on we always. Basically, we've mapped out everything from an hour to 4 hours as far as what we're requested time length to play. So if somebody's like, hey, we need you for 2 hours and 30 minutes, we've already, like, drawn that up. Like, we just have, like, a Word document of everything from an hour, 45, 30, hour 15, hour 30, 2 hours. It's like, so, and it's kind of basically the same set list, but it just grows as it goes. So we focus more probably on that hour because that's what we get. Or it's like we're coming up or learning new songs, writing new tunes. Kind of perfecting cutting out a lot of the dead space between tunes, like trying to make transitioning better so there's not those awkward, like, everybody's kind of standing on stage like, what do you want to play next? Or like, what's the next song?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we just work on just because it keeps things rolling for us. I've noticed, like, if you go play a show and you just play a song, stop, or what's next? Play a song. It just drags, and so like what we try to do is build these like 3 or 4 song chunks that as soon as this song's done, we're going right into this one. You don't have time to get a drink, you don't have time to get a beer. We're just going straight into it, and when you do that, like time goes faster, So we'll blow through 4 hours and it's fine, I mean, you have to pee, but
who cares about that? That's all logistics. So.
Yeah. And we really believe in the show too. It's like yes, we love just like playing music, but it's like. We really, really love putting on a show. And it's like, and that's most of our favorite bands to some extent have that show. Even if nobody talks about that stuff, it's like having that show part of it too. It's like every solo or designated solos, me and Brad try to switch places, stuff like that. So it's like now he's the focal point opposed to me in the middle. And
so you guys just like share the light. Cody, okay, so I don't know if everyone realizes Cody's with me, but hasn't said a single word this whole time.
Hi, Cody.
Anything? Hey, this is Cody.
Hey. Oh, hey, Cody.
You got anything, man?
Yeah, I got one question real quick. I know last time I talked to Taryn, we talked a little bit about, like, your setup, what you play. So for Michael, obviously you're on drums, so there's a lot to that. But, like, what are just some of the brands of stuff you enjoy using?
Well, I recently started working with SJC, and so I've got a new custom SJC drum kit up there. And so that's been... I mean, it's probably the nicest drum kit I've ever owned. Yeah. And they were super cool to work with, especially because, I had like 18,000 changes I made to it during the, more like 18. But, and I've been playing TRX cymbals for like 10 years, and they're just phenomenal. They're great people to work with. Super great cymbals. They're not like the super, a lot of people, I don't know if for any drummers that might be listening, super dark cymbals or super bright cymbals. They're really a nice mix right in the middle, so it's not too much of either one.
Yeah, like a rustic look.
Yeah, they got a rustic look, but they also cut the sound in the middle too. They're not super hard on your ears, but they're not super dry and jazzy to where you just can't hear them on a. They cut through. I think I use a drum dial too when I tune, especially on a gig like this. I tuned all my drums. Like 45 minutes later, we put them up on stage and they're already out of tune. So I just throw a drum dial up there real quick, and and I don't have to bang on anything, and it's just super easy. And it's really nice. They've been really good.
What size piece set are you using? Because I know I've seen people use from like a 3-piece set up to what you see like Joey Jordison and Slipknot using, which is just huge.
I actually used to have the Pearl Joey Jordison kit.
Wow!
Like the two bass drums, 4 rack toms, and I sold it off piece by piece. Eventually, I've got like three of the drums left, but it's a double. What I got now is the SJC two double kicks, 24 by 14, rack tom and a floor tom, and then a big old honking 14 by 8 brass snare drum.
Wow.
And I've got a side snare, but it's really just a table. If you go up and look at it, it's got like a "Don't mic me, I'm a table," because I hate bending down when I'm playing. So that's
all right.
That natural brown drum kit you see in all the old pictures is that Joey Jordison kit.
Oh, is that really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was born with it was born with like the black wrap on it, but then he took it off and restained it. So
okay.
But that's why the hardware is black. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't see black hardware very often. And all that stuff. So yeah.
I even called Pearl and was like, "Hey, I need an extra bass drum because I sold mine. I need to get another one so I can do this double kick thing." And they're like, "We don't do black hardware anymore." And I was just like, "Oh, I guess I'll just have to buy a new drum kit." And that's when I started looking at SJC.
There you go.
So Pearl changed their powder coating companies apparently. So I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that about Pearl.
Now you know.
Now we know. The more you know.
The more you know.
So, and you got some deal with. Did you get a deal with Gibson?
Yeah, we do. Yep.
Tell me about that.
So technically, the only endorsed Gibson artist is Slash.
Of course.
Right? Yeah. So
lucky him.
Yeah. So he is officially an ambassador. So the rest of us are all Gibson artists, like us and Angus Young. So, but yeah, it's great. I mean, that's how Brad ordered the red SG.
Yeah.
And I've got a white Explorer coming, and John's got a Firebird coming. So.
Man. Oh, dude, I love Firebirds.
Yeah, it's super cool. Which it's been really neat to see, like with the changeover of the guy from Levi signing on to the company, and then Mark Ignacy. The guys from Norm's Rare Guitars is now like the head of their creative control.
Okay.
So he is incredibly passionate about the keeping Gibson like what it should be as far as like historically and whatnot. So like the standard Les Pauls this year come in a 50s and a 60s spec.
Oh, wow.
So you can like get the same Les Paul in 50s or 60s spec and like all the colors. It's super rad.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just like it's really. I feel like it's the thing everybody's just really been wanting Gibson to do for years.
Yeah.
So
about time. So
yeah, it's awesome.
So we're about running out of time. Anything you guys like to let the world know while we're here? Anything new? Any future tours?
Playing in Nashville not next Wednesday, but the one after that. Was that August what?
August 14th.
August 14th, Nashville
August
at the Crying Wolf, and then Arkansas that Saturday at Kings Live.
Will we be seeing a headlining tour anytime soon?
I'd rather be getting on opening a really big one.
Okay.
But maybe headlining tour.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Awesome.
I want to get with somebody big.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys
On the show, and can't wait to see you guys play live.
Awesome, man.
Thanks.
Thank you.